All right, guys, welcome to No Two Ways. I'm Ibrahim, as I'm sure you know by now.
I'm Matt.
And we did have a plan for today. We built out a schedule, a program for all the things we are going to talk about. It covered everything from lab testing on dogs to why children don't eat their fucking food. And I think there was even a bit about
Pirates.
pirates. So we scrapped all of that. And instead, Matt's going to tell you about some of the big changes going on in his life, and I'm going to commentate.
Is that what's happening?
That's what's happening.
So I knew that we were scrapping all the work that I did, but it's news to me that it's just an interview on my personal problems.
No, I'll definitely interject with some personal anecdotes because I realize you're basically at a stage that I was at not too long ago.
Okay.
So I can speak to what my experience was going through it and maybe give you some feedback on what it was like for me.
Let's dig into it. I've decided to break out of the matrix. I'm quitting my job in a month, which is going to be super scary, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being told when I can piss. I'm sick of being told when I can, when I have to come in and show my face. I'm sick of everything, so I'm leaving.
Just as a quick side note, I just realized you said people from your work are watching this.
I don't care.
So now they're going to see you actively shitting on work.
I'm not shitting on it.
Not yet, but I anticipate you will be.
No, I'm not going to shit on my work. I'm shitting on all work.
Okay.
Zuto's been really good for me.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. We'll edit this out. Just say.
No, I've made a lot of money there. Right. Sales role before I was teaching. The money has completely been
for
different.
An entry level sales role. You've been like killing it.
Yeah, I know I can do it well. So that's part of the decision to leave is me going into something else and knowing that I have it as a backup, not Zuto, but I can do sales. And everyone's so scared of quitting their job. I have no responsibility, so I'm in a situation where I have no children. I don't really have to worry about anything other than rent, and I've managed to save a little bit of money to keep me going for a few months while I figure out how to make some money myself, which is an extremely scary thing to do because you've got to have so much confidence in yourself, you have so much resilience, and these are some of the challenges that you've been through when you've been doing the same thing that I'm trying to do now.
So I'm curious, what were some of your motivators to really pull the plug?
To decide I'm going.
Yeah. So like, was there a moment where you're like, yeah, that's it. I've made my mind now.
As soon as the idea and the excitement and the inspiration was at a level where I could envisage what it was going to look like for me in a year, work became horrible. I'd go in and I'd just be thinking about how much more I could be doing with myself, and it's an extremely scary thing to do, but I can't break out of that way of thinking. It's possible. People do it. There are ways to make a lot of money in this world that are not spoken about, and they require an insane amount of dedication, time, and focus. I don't think I'm going to be able to do any of it if I have a drop of alcohol over the next 3 or 4 months. It's off the cards for me because I can't moderate it at all. So it's going to be hard, but I'm in a position now where I have faith in myself to give it everything that I can. Everything that I've tried to do, I've managed to do it. And not only do it, I've managed to exceed at it and do it well. So why would this be any different?
It's true. That's nice. It's a leap of faith in yourself, right? It's saying that I know I can do this thing, so I'm going to basically take a swing at it. And the alternative, like you said, is what? Basically slaving away, knowing that your potential has so much more. That's the harder thing to live with, really.
100%.
It's like you can have the difficulty of taking the risk and dealing with all the uncertainty that comes with starting your own enterprise, or you deal with the discomfort of turning up to work every day knowing you're basically wasting away your time, knowing that you've got more in the tank, and you're basically like not willing to do what's necessary to reach your potential. That for me is the harder thing to live with. It's always knowing that I've got more in the tank, but because I'm not brave enough, I'm going to let it go to waste.
Well, a quote that one of us said to each other has resonated quite deeply with both of us. It's like, you will stay the same until the fear of change is less than the fear of staying the same.
Yeah.
That's not exactly what it is, but you get it.
Yeah, I get it. But no, that's a good one.
How are you feeling with? I think when you make a big decision like that and you decide to take a lot of risk, not only have you got to believe in yourself, but even if you believe in yourself and you are extremely confident, I don't believe that anyone doesn't waver and have those moments of doubt. So you've told me that you have a few ways of dealing with that doubt.
I think there's 2 things in life that test you and your character as like completely. And those two are going to be entrepreneurship and parenthood. Like those are two things where you can't hide any aspect of your reality because they're really the child thing is a bit of there's more nuance to it, but there's not many circumstances in life where you have absolute 100% control over that thing.
Also, if you make a slight hiccup in either of those things, like the consequences can be astronomical.
Sure, with the child, you're going to maybe scar a little kid who's going to turn up into some racist homo, but
that's the dream.
Praying.
Yeah.
Matt Jr., come on in.
I might make a horrible mistake and they turn into the opposite.
Like what, the most
And
nice guy ever?
Yeah.
Just a normal person. You mean?
Hippie.
That would be rough to deal with.
That'd be worse than a homophobic racist.
If anything ends this podcast, it'll be ultra liberal Matt Jr. Anyway, that's a little teaser for any ladies interested. That is available.
Man, I think a lot of ladies will be interested in the fact that I don't want to raise.
You don't want a kid?
I don't know if I want kids. This is going down a different rabbit hole. You think?
Yeah. I think you're.
I think I'm afraid of the challenges that kids will provide.
Have you seen the kind of people having kids?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that just because they're worse than me, I want to be amazing.
You see, now, I'm glad we got that on camera, because so often when I'm asking you about certain things, right, you're like, yeah, but most people don't even do that. That's like one of your textbook lines that really irks me. I'm like, when did we start comparing
I've
ourselves?
stopped saying that.
It's like, right? And now I'm glad you said it yourself. It's like, since when is the benchmark the average person? The average person has what, like an 80 IQ, like barely above, actually no, it's just somewhat competent, right?
Yeah.
So why would we compare it to them?
Sure.
In any aspect. So we want to.
I know that I'd be an above average parent.
Listen, ladies. Does he need to sell
Enough
you
said. Kill ya.
game? That's it. And clothes.
I'd be an above average parent. I don't know that I'd be an amazing parent, especially not now. I think I've got a lot to learn.
And it is, I think, like if you're like me as well, you want to be exceptional at everything, including parenthood.
I think the consequences of not being a great parent
Can be pretty devastating.
Yeah. Imagine if you make a few mistakes and then your child ends up in a really bad position because of you. Now that's something that...
Is that a risk you're willing to take?
I don't know. I think with the direction that I'm going in at the moment, if I continue to go in this direction with my life, and I really, really hope that I do, because this is the happiest that I've been in a long time.
That's great.
Yeah. If I continue to go in this direction, I'm so excited of the version that I'm going to be of myself in 3 or 4 years. And that person might be ready to have a family, but this person currently isn't. It's not been long enough where I've been the best version of myself.
That's a nice realization, because now you also have an idea of your potential, right? You're getting a vision of what that person's like. And what I've started to do over the years is to get a more clear picture of what that version looks like, so I can take deliberate actions in making that person real.
So yourself in 4 or 5 years,
yeah.
What are the things that you'll be working on?
Specifically, I don't have an outline of projects, like specifically. But
not projects, like personality and who you want to be in 4 or 5 years. Because you say you've got some kind of vision of what that wants to look like, what you want that to look like. Do you have a clear vision, or is it more of like a blurred vision of the man that you want to be?
No,
like
it's crystal clear.
Yeah, I'd love to hear
Absolutely. And I'll think about this a lot, because I think when you can envisage something, the steps in making it a reality become easier to take. Whereas, I don't know if you've had this, where you're trying to explain, where you're saying, you can start your own business or do something that for the average person sounds crazy. Because for them, trying to envisage something like that, there's such a huge gap. They're like, I couldn't possibly imagine what the steps to getting there would be like. And so they'll just dismiss it. And so I'll think about that and I'll think, all right, if I want to imagine something crazy like that, I have to make it really crystal clear so that I can think through what the intermediary steps of that are going to be, so that it becomes manageable, achievable for me. And so some of these things are like, a lot of it is really how I look at myself, my perception of who I am, and things like confidence or certainty in the things that I'm doing. Because at the moment, especially in this building phase, there's a lot of uncertainty. And I appreciate that there's always going to be that element when you're building a business or going into new ventures. But I think having that certainty in your own capability, in your own capacity. So right now I'm trying to build that capacity for work. I'm trying to work to a level where every year or so, my output increases because I've learned how to be more efficient. I've got a better understanding of myself physically, mentally. I know what my body can do, and my output gets better. And so I'm thinking in 3, 4, or 5 years' time, I'm like a machine. I'm like, I set my goal, I set my sight on the target, and I'm like, I know exactly what I need to do. Nothing's going to divert me, and I'm just like a robot until I hit that goal.
That stems from being confident in yourself, is what your point is.
Yeah.
And I think that's so seen everywhere. The people that are best in anything that they do. It's like if you look at Olympians, people in work, people in sales, marketing, everyone else might not believe in them. But you can't sell something if you're
if you don't believe
scared.
it. Yeah.
If you don't believe in yourself and you're not calm and collected. And that comes from being confident in yourself. The difference between having confidence and having an ego is that you don't have to prove it.
Yeah.
You get a sense of being relaxed, and you emit that feeling of relaxation and calm because you're so confident and you feel like you have nothing to prove.
And for you, where does that confidence come from?
It comes from respecting myself. So having respect for the decisions that you say, having respect for things that you say that you're going to do with regards to your own personal well-being. So if you're like, oh, I want to go to the gym this morning, and then you skip it, then you're going to fucking hate yourself for the rest of the day. Or at least I do, and you should, because you've broken a promise to yourself. But if you break a promise to someone else, it's slightly different. I don't encourage it. But firstly, respect yourself and make sure that you respect yourself and treat yourself correctly.
That's a good one. For me, I look at it as evidence of the things that I've done, because my confidence comes from like a track record of doing the things that I want to do. So if in the future or right now, I have confidence in certain aspects. Let's say, for example, the gym, super confident in the gym because of the track record I have in it. I know the results I can get there. I know the hours, the dedication I've put into it. There's no refuting.
No one starts off confident in the gym.
That's true.
That's what people don't realize.
Or even in any new endeavor, whether it's business or even like relationships, having good interpersonal relationships, whether it's friends, coworkers, partners, everyone starts off as an amateur.
It's such a good point. You've got to be thrown into the fire with anything, otherwise you're just going to live this life of not being able to learn anything and staying where you are. That's why change is so important and being uncomfortable.
I know confidence is a big goal for a lot of people, but it's like, they're like skipping a step to say, oh, I just want the confidence. Well, what is the price of that confidence?
If you had one piece of advice for somebody that was struggling to get confidence in any area, what would it be?
If you imagine what the confident version of you would do, what does their day-to-day look like? How do they move through the world? What are their thoughts even? And then you start to act like that person. Now, in the beginning, it always feels unnatural because you're like, hold on, this isn't me. But you can choose to be someone else any day. You can wake up tomorrow and be like, yeah, today I have a different opinion. You don't have to hold true to any experiences, beliefs, ideas you had in the past. Tomorrow I can be like, all right, I'm different now. I can let go of all those old ideas. And so when you have that vision of who the future version of you is like, confident, calm, collected, then you can think, all right, that person of me wouldn't panic in this situation.
And this is something that isn't taught in schools. And it's like these kind of things where you need to really learn about who you are before you can get great at anything. And these are the things that should be getting taught in schools, how to be confident in your own skin, and things like you've just said, strategies to be able to kind of better yourself personally before you can learn how to do Pythagoras, you know? One of the things that you just said is pretending to be somebody else. Now, I used that when I was doing my music a lot. So if I was doing a gig or if I was going busking at the start, obviously I wasn't confident. The first time I took my speaker and put it in the middle of Canterbury, I was fucking shaking, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not that good. You know, I've not got any experience. Like, everyone that I see is better than me. And I was a bit shaky for a while, and then I did an open mic night, and this guy said to me, I was like, have you got any advice? He was awesome. So I said, what would your advice be to somebody like me who's just starting out? Like, I pretend I'm someone else. So I started saying to myself, I'm not Matthew Ramalingham, I'm Matt Rama.
Nice. You got a new persona.
That was my music name, like the singles that I've got out are under Matt Rama because of that
It
conversation.
sounds like a pop star name.
Well, still plenty of time.
Please give it up for Matt Rama.
Sounds like a bingo hall. Just like, brings out a banjo.
Next week, guys, it's going to be huge. Matt Rama.
Matt Rama. But yeah, I just flipped into this persona. I was like, Matt Rama doesn't give a fuck. I'm going to go up there and be a completely different person. And it worked. It was the best show I'd ever done.
That's cool, man. So we're now, going through this process of doing something similar as you're kind of moving out your job and into this entrepreneurial path. That's a tricky situation.
Oh man, it's so scary. Even when you said it then, my heart, just panic mode, cortisol, you know? Like everything is designed to just tell me this is a bad idea.
One of the games I used to kind of play with myself is after I got conditioned to doing uncomfortable things, I would start to think, there is no circumstance you can put me in that I would be uncomfortable in. That's the end goal. I want to be able to, like, you could pick me up and put me down in any circumstance, any location in the world, and I'll be fine. And I would think, all right, in order to do that, it means I have to deliberately go into the places that feel uncomfortable. And I would think, what would be the most uncomfortable thing I could do? What would make me deliberately, like, shit myself so that I can get over it? Because that's the goal, right? It's only uncomfortable because it's so unfamiliar.
Yeah.
So if you just deliberately put yourself in there, imagine getting to a place where any suggestion of an idea to do something, you're like, sure. The level of self-confidence it would take to do that, that's one of my goals, to say absolute confidence. It's just put me in anything. I have enough faith in my own capacity and ability to just like kill it in any scenario. And so the entrepreneurial one is one way, right? So now you're exposed to this really uncomfortable environment.
I feel like you need to be able to do that to be an entrepreneur. Everything that I've seen and every bit of advice that people have taken is just do it. Take a risk, do it. Everyone that's made it is telling you to do that. No one's doing it because they're scared of it. And that's why no one does it and no one is capable of it, because no one tries, really tries. You can't just be like, oh, well, I don't know. I'm going to be, in a year's time, we'll be sat here. We won't be sat here. Sat in a penthouse in Miami.
That's the goal, guys. We said it here first, and if we're not, then maybe we overshot the target. It might be next year in, maybe where else is good for us?
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day.
Miami, 2026, guys.
At least, minimum 2026.
At the end of next year, I mean, if we're not there, like, you need to get a job again.
Yeah. That's not an option for me. That's what I mean. It's not an option. Yeah.
So you have doubts coming in at this phase, right?
Of course.
How are you dealing with them?
I try to think about the alternative.
Okay.
So the risk of leaving any profession that you're in is, okay, they might not take you back. Why are you leaving? I don't want to be there. Why do I want them to take me back? I don't want them to take me back. That's the risk. That's the risk that I'm so frightened of. The other risk is financial. That's a bit of one, but there will be ways to make money. If I go back to bar work, if I do something, I'm not going to starve to death, right? I will be able to find some way of making money and keeping myself afloat.
Don't you think it's crazy the comforts we've got so used to that even the thought of a little bit of instability sends us into survival panic mode?
Exactly.
It's like, am I going to starve to death? No.
But that's what society teaches.
That's what it is, right? It's like
not because it's not our fault. It's not anyone's fault.
It's everyone's fault. I do not ever acknowledge that it's no one's fault. If your thinking is limiting you, there's only one person that's responsible. It's yourself.
No, society is also partially responsible. You have the ability to change society
influences your direction, sure, but as soon as you say someone else is responsible for it, you're like, oh, I don't have the power over it.
Okay, right. That's not what I'm trying to say, though. I'm not saying it's somebody can be responsible for it, but you can still overcome something. So let's say someone stabs you.
Whose fault is that?
The person that stabs you.
No, it's your fault for
if
not
someone
being...
ran in here and slit your throat, that'd be your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Why? Because you didn't lock the door.
Yeah, because I didn't prep for it. I chose to
train in Krav Maga.
Yeah, I didn't. That's mate. I don't know if I told this, but like when I was sitting in that Turkish prison, right? I was like
out of context, like.
And a lot of people would think, "Oh, you're so unlucky. You know, you're the victim of like some prejudice."
It was hilarious.
But I was genuinely like, "This is my fault. I should have learned some Turkish. I should have understood the local culture better, and I bet I would have talked my way out of it."
Talk about taking responsibility.
That's genuinely how my mind works. Because if I think about the opposite, if I think, "Oh yeah, I got unlucky and it's just bad,"
you make peace with it sooner if you take responsibility.
That's it. And then next time, I'm gonna be like, everything that happens in my life is my fault, and I have absolute power over it.
When you say that it's your fault rather than blaming other people, it sometimes feels like a weight's been lifted.
Yeah, because it's like, oh yeah, so that means I can change it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm always blaming, for example, someone else for not taking the bins out, then I'm like, damn, that I can't control that person's actions. But
if you were a master of communication,
that's
you could
it.
convince them
And
to take the bins out.
that's my thinking. I'm like, if I was better at communicating or planning, then I wouldn't have got myself into this shitty situation.
Could have made a bin rotor when you moved in.
Right? So all these things, I will always flip it back on myself. Because one of them gives me a result, an action at the end of it. The other one's like, oh, well, I guess that sucks.
And you learn as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the important thing. I imagine that you've probably tried a few of these learning curves with myself as well, in the way that you've kind of, I don't know, attempted to manage.
No, but I enjoy that you're open-minded, which a lot of people are not.
That's so true.
This, like, when I'm thinking about the kind of people I'm going to let into my life, open-mindedness is probably the number one thing. Open-mindedness and generosity. Yeah. Not just of money, but like in spirit, of your time, your attention, just like someone who's very giving in nature. Those are like the two non-negotiable standards I have for everyone.
That's really interesting because I share one of them. Like, open-mindedness, I've never given that much thought to. You've been trying to accomplish, this lifestyle for a while. And that's something that you've had a lot of time to think about, right? Being open-minded, like how important it is to be around people that are open-minded because you've learned a lot from it, whereas I've not. However, generosity, since I've been in like year 6, I remember I've told my mum, like I've told everyone, like if someone's not willing to share things or is like selfish with things, selfishness used to be the biggest turn off for me when I was growing up.
Or miserliness, when people are counting pennies, like, oh no, that's not. I absolutely find that so distasteful.
Yeah.
Because to me, I don't know, I'm maybe reading too much, but it signals like your time or attention isn't worth enough for me to like just let it go.
Yeah.
It's like I need to make sure I get my exact worth out of this interaction.
Yeah.
I just find that so off-putting.
No, I'm the same. I've always been like that as well. It's a shame.
And that's why I just hate the idea of money, like even coming into as an aspect into relationships. Like I'll just pay for things whenever I can, just that I don't even have to think about it.
I think it's hard when, I don't know if you've been in many situations where you've not really got that much money. Then it becomes...
Then I feel obligated to.
It's tough, man.
I know.
It's tough because I've been in that situation when I've been in a relationship and I've not had any money. And it's like I want to treat her really nicely, but I just can't.
And that motivates me to do better.
I didn't have that.
You were just like, I guess it sucks. Let's go back to bed.
Can you pay?
But it depends. Like,
yeah, okay. I was like,
it depends what kind of a relationship it is. Like if it's just some quick thing, then maybe she's gonna be a little more peeved at you.
Now, man, like, thankfully I'm in a position where I'll hopefully always be able to pay for. And like, it's a nice feeling. I prefer the feeling of giving than taking.
Man, for me, it's like generosity is the purest demonstration of power.
Yeah. Power.
Power.
Is this why this is the real incentive?
This is the real, because
you are a very generous person, dude.
Giving only comes from a position of an abundance. It means you have so much of that thing that you're willingly giving it away. And that applies to time, money, attention. It's like, I have so much of this thing. Food. Matt loves that one. Like, you can just have it.
Yeah, no, it's not gone unnoticed, man. I'm trying to rack my brain of what I've actually done for you ever.
I wrote it down one time, but I lost it.
So I was racking my brain, I was like, damn.
There's definitely something. We'll look back on the previous episodes. I'm sure you mentioned something. It was like,
I hope so, man. Yeah, maybe it's something I've got to work on. I think when you're in sales as well, you've got to kind of learn to be a bit of a dick. Not a dick, but you've got to have a backbone. And unfortunately, the two do often go hand in hand.
Because it's hard to know where to draw that line sometimes then. Because you have all that power and you can just take advantage of it.
That's not the best way of doing it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
But you need to be firm and you need to be hard with it. You know that.
It depends what kind of sales as well. Like B2C is a different game to B2B.
That's all I've done. And you got to manage them and what they believe that they can do.
Because they're not professionals.
That's it.
And that's one of my biggest takeaways in making that transition from B2C to B2B is I would always much rather work with professionals. And it's not just like how experienced or whatever, it's how you conduct yourself. When someone says, oh yeah, I'll get it back to you today. And if it's not a professional, if it's just some geezer off the street, he means in the next 4 days he's going to get it.
It's unpredictable.
Yeah, whereas if you're dealing with professionals, like this will get done exactly when I said, it'll be done to a high standard, and everybody can have clear expectations of each other, because that's how business runs. And that's what I really love about working with pros in every aspect, whether it's in personal or like I even manage relationships like this. I absolutely hate it when people are like offhanded with stuff. So I've had to have this conversation with people multiple times where I'm like, these are my expectations for the relationship. If this doesn't vibe with you, then that's cool. It's
So
not
you
for
do
me.
it at the start.
I'll do it at the start, or as soon as something irks me.
Goes off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, you know what? This isn't really how I like to do things. Either we can correct and find like a way that it works for us both, or I'm done.
Well, it's what we're gonna have to do, as well. Which we've already.
You know,
kind
we
of
could we could make it like a spin-off series of KTW, where we're like,
because KTW is doing so well.
hey, listen, I'm thinking ahead again, but it's like, I don't know, domestics with Matt and Ibrahim, where every time we have like some kind of disagreement in the apartment,
Cool.
hit the camera, and then we hash it out on
Do you think
camera.
Do you think we're gonna be in the right mindset to do that?
But
It would immediately flatten any kind
that's
of
right.
beef.
That's why, right?
Because we can't get emotional with it.
It just puts things into perspective when the camera's recording, because you realize everyone's going to see this and they're going to tell us you're idiots for getting so worked up about something so stupid. So because we're going to have the studio set up all the time.
Yeah.
And whenever let's say we don't agree about something, we'll say, all right, let's hash it out on DM with Matt and Ibrahim.
Our vision, by the way. So we're moving out together in a month, which I'm super excited for. Hopefully. Anyway, it's been a bit of a nightmare, but anyway, we're gonna create. So we're in a living room at the moment. We're gonna dedicate this whole space to a podcast studio, or it's a dedicated workspace, right? So it's gonna be just designed for efficiency, and that is something that literally gets my dick hard. I'm so excited for it.
It's because when you're living with flatmates, it's really hard to find people you're in sync with. You often have different routines, different schedules, and priorities. Right?
It's harder to meet people when you're our age as well, right? Rather than outside of work and outside
mate, are you kidding? Like going out and on dates into bars and
if
shit.
you're not doing that though.
If you're not doing those things, you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, even when you're doing it, people already have their friendship circles. To actually integrate properly into a friendship circle when you're our age, it's a lot harder than it was when you're going to schools. If you go into like parties, you have those situations where you
that's never been my goal. I've never had the desire to do that.
Neither. I've not really had the desire to do it. I've always got along with people pretty well, but I've just noticed like
people get a
does
little bit
get
more
harder
because they get a little bit more like insular as you get older.
That's it. People have a select few people that they maybe want to spend time with when they get older,
They
and
have
they're very
routines and
closely
things,
knit now. So if I go to Kent, I moved to Kent when I was like 18, 19, and I was at uni for 3 years, so I didn't actually go to Kent. I dropped into Kent when I was like 21 maybe. I didn't know anyone. How do you meet someone when you're 21 when you know nobody there?
So are you asking that rhetorically, or you want some tips?
Well, I did it.
Right.
But I was lucky. My sister's boyfriend, he kind of his brother
facilitated you getting to know people. And
I met all of his friends, and then was within their friendship circle. And then we actually spun off into 2 friendship groups, and I met one guy in there, his old friendship group, and then I had a social network in Kent. But without that would have been really difficult. I did find other ways as well. This guy in Newcastle Uni, we got along, so he introduced me to. He was from Kent as well. So
that part of moving somewhere where you don't know anyone and you have to start from scratch, I love that.
I'm excited for it.
I used to do that all the time when I was traveling around working, and I would go to a city, and then within a month, I would know like a dozen people. I got really good at making connections really quickly because I play a lot of different sports like tennis, squash, badminton, table. I could go to their socials or group trainings, and because I'm fairly competent as well, people want to play with you and they want to socialize with you, and so that was a big in because there are usually people who are local. And then they introduce you. But then I was also going to a lot of bars at the time, and I was really good at speaking to people at bars and making friends there, especially the staff. So I would then get to know the staff who always have, as you know, like the perfect inside info on the local area.
What techniques did you use to try and charm people? Because is it anything that you've read about or communication skills that you've learned from books?
When I didn't really get into self-development until like a few years ago. So when I was doing my door-to-door stuff, that was just through brute force.
Yeah.
I just had this bizarre, unexplainable confidence of, I'm going to do this.
Wow, that's good.
And
awesome.
I fucked up a lot. That's how I learned. Because I was doing cold door-to-door stuff. That's hard work, where when you see someone and the first sentence or even first word or something you say, immediately you're like, all right, this is not going to go well. Because you had so many repetitions, your mind gets used to the tiny details of the expressions on their face or their body language, where they're like, even when they say hello, there's like 10.
Think like that. You can't think like that.
10 different ways you can read a hello, where you got really good at it. Where someone's like, hello, they're like slightly cautious, or hello, hello. There's like 10 different intonations, and based on that, I'm like, all right, I know what this person's like. I've got experience of this. I'm going to use certain approaches here. And you have to do this in real time. You can't be like, hold on a second, let me refer to my notes and one second, right? You got to basically do that on the fly, in the moment. And so I would get really good at just saying hello, or basically little tricks are, you never approach someone from behind, right? You want to be always side on to someone's in the depends what your intentions are. If you're selling someone, you never approach. You want to have them in your peripheral vision so they can see you coming a little bit, so they're not taken aback where you're tapping them on the back.
I can't see you coming.
Matt's always on it. But other things is people love talking about themselves.
Yeah, I've noticed this.
And the best, Matt, for I think the
I'll
first
let you
8
finish your
months,
sentence.
for the first 8 months, Matt knew nothing about me. He realized his conversations were always one-sided.
I don't know why he liked me, to be honest.
But anyway, and you can't just interview people and say, what's your job? What do you do? Blah,
That's
blah, blah.
what I tried. See, I'm in the book that I'm reading. Look at me speaking about myself again. But
Listen, you are the best. But
in the book that I'm reading, it's like people want to speak about themselves. So I started trying to use it and speak to them about their hobbies and what they like doing. But it's hard to make that seem natural. You've got to have a balance of maybe asking them a question. That's cool.
the trick that works is asking them things that only someone who does that thing would know. So if someone tells me they're into fishing, I don't know fuck all about fishing. But now I'm picturing myself fishing, right? And I'm like, all right, I'm sitting there, I'm getting cold, it's miserable, wife's probably waiting. And then I'll ask him, does your wife mind that you're always out on the water for hours and you never turn up with anything? And now he's like, you know what? Yeah, she gets annoyed, right? So that's my process. I'll really try and envisage myself in whatever scenario they're talking about and think about what kind of things would annoy me, what kind of questions would come up, and then I'll ask them about that.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's one of the things. But a lot of it was like just subconscious. You're just picking up on lots of feedback. When people say something, you learn how to direct conversations in the right way.
You're very good at learning. A lot of people make the same mistakes time and time again and don't learn from them.
Man, I've made plenty of mistakes.
I know, but the way that your brain works, I've always found quite interesting. Because you enjoy analysing things.
Man, getting better is like my obsession. It's my religion. If I'm not getting better, like for the past week, I had like food poisoning and this stupid diet, and I couldn't really make progress at the gym. So I lost all motivation to go. I still went every single day and did some mobility work.
That's called discipline.
And it sucked. I hated it every day. I was like, I'm just turning up, like basically doing some weird stretches and going home because I couldn't progress anymore. But I was like, I need to maintain that routine.
Routine's important.
That's it. And you'll find when we go into this new phase, it's everything. Because you're going to have no structure.
Oh, man.
There's nowhere you have to turn up, right? It's going to be all on you every day.
The phone's going to be the killer, man. The phone's going to be the killer.
I
Having
mean,
this beautifully addictive thing sat next to you.
I think at some point you're going to realize I can have my phone or I can and go broke or I'll make money. At some point it'll like click for you, like if I continue to scroll.
I don't want it to click. I just need it to be from the start. I can't afford to give a week where I'm distracted.
Yeah. So we can come up with strategies of like having the phone away or I don't know. We haven't figured out the full setup of the living group. Ideally, we get rid of the couch.
Maybe we could have one of them boxes that keeps your phone in it for an hour at a time.
Oh, the phone lock.
We could both put it in there and be like, this is study time.
I don't really have the problem, mate.
Well, you could do it for me.
Why would that help you? I guess we'll be in it
You
together.
can be the phone box.
Yeah, just give me your phone, yeah.
Be like, can I have my phone back?
No.
Should we call it there? It's been a good episode, I think. How many minutes are we on?
We're only on 35 minutes.
Oh? Okay.
We can do like 5-10 more.
Sure. Kind of killed the flow there, sorry. So I went on that bike ride earlier, which is why I'm pretty tired.
Oh, really? You crashing?
Maybe a little bit.
Are you hungry?
We could go and eat because I've got to see Charlotte at 7.
All right, guys. Fuck you. We gotta go eat.